2024 OnePlus Pad 2 proved to be an extremely good tablet for the money, and on paper, the OnePlus Pad 3 improves in almost every single aspect. But how does it really stack up against the two biggest tablet brands in the world? Well, you won't have to wonder anymore because we're gonna put it through its paces against Apple's iPad Air 13 and Samsung's Galaxy Tab S10 Plus. We'll take a deep dive into the design, display, performance, cameras, and battery to find out if the OnePlus Pad 3 truly deserves a spot in your backpack. Hey, I'm Olive, your host here at Versus.com. The OnePlus Pad 3 and the iPad Air 13 look pretty similar, sharing almost the same size and form factor. The Galaxy Tab S10 Plus, on the other hand, is a bit more stretched. Interestingly, the OnePlus and the Galaxy have a rear design that invites you to use them horizontally, while the iPad has a more vertical look. As for materials, all three have aluminium unibody casings with flat sides and a flat back. When it comes to weight, the OnePlus is 683 grams, the iPad is 620 grams, and the Galaxy is 573 grams, making it the easiest to hold for long periods of time. Only the Galaxy comes with an IP rating, this being IP68, protecting it against dust and making it submersible in water for long periods of time. While that's kind of pointless on a tablet for most people, it is a nice bonus for those who perhaps want to take some photos by the pool. For security, both the iPad and the Galaxy come with fingerprint scanners on the power button on the iPad and under the screen on the Galaxy. The OnePlus, meanwhile, just lacks any kind of biometric unlock besides a rather simple camera-based face unlock. So as always, let's check in with the team and see who likes which design best.
OnePlus.
The OnePlus.
The iPad.
The OnePlus.
The Galaxy. What about you?
I'm gonna go for the OnePlus. And if you'd like to grab any of these tablets, be sure to check out direct links in the description. Next, let's take a look at these huge displays. Here we have a 13.2-inch IPS display on the OnePlus, a 12.9-inch IPS screen on the iPad, and a 12.4-inch AMOLED panel on the Galaxy. Now, even though screen sizes are almost the same on paper, the aspect ratios play a huge role here. The OnePlus and Apple are betting on a close to 4:3 aspect ratio, which is great for reading, while Samsung packs the S10 Plus with a wider 16:10 ratio, which is perfect for movies. For refresh rate, the OnePlus can go up to 144 Hz, the Galaxy gets 120 Hz, and the iPad, well, it's still stuck somewhere in 2010 with a basic 60 Hz display. We threw them under simulated sunlight at over 100,000 lux and measured how bright the screen typically gets using a full white screen. The OnePlus reached 856 nits, the iPad reached 658 nits, and the Galaxy was the dimmest at 559 nits. And while these numbers might seem a bit low, most people don't even take tablets outside. Now, for even more info on all the screen specs, feel free to pause the video right here. Alright, for the screen, we have to say that we really like the OnePlus's display as it's sharp, bright, and has a really high refresh rate. But unfortunately, it just can't beat the true blacks the AMOLED screen in the Galaxy can show. So if you want punchy colors and incredible contrast, the Galaxy is the one to pick. But a great display is nothing without some good speakers, so let's check them out. The OnePlus comes with a whopping 8 speakers, which honestly might be overkill, but we're not complaining. The iPad only has 2 speakers, and the Galaxy has 4, one in each corner. Here's an audio sample for you. We have to say all these tablets have great speakers, but the 8 speakers on the OnePlus definitely make it the best one here. It might not come through like the best in the audio recording, but in real life, trust us, it's really good. It has really punchy bass and high volume without any distortion. The iPad and the Galaxy are by no means bad, but they're just not at the Pad 3's level. By the way, we see that you're loving our videos, but we also noticed most of you aren't subscribed yet. So if you're vibing with our comparisons, smash that subscribe button. It would mean the world for us to have you as part of our squad. Thank you. Now, cameras are probably not the main reason why you buy a tablet, but let's still check the kind of photos you can snap with these bad boys. The iPad iPad features a 12-megapixel rear camera, while both the OnePlus and the Galaxy have 13-megapixel cameras. Here, of course, post-processing depends on your personal preference, but the photos from the Galaxy offer the most natural sharpness, while the iPad's photo looks a bit over-sharpened. This time, you can see that typical contrasty look on OnePlus devices, while on the other hand, both the iPad and the Galaxy look more natural. From these two, however, the Galaxy does blow out some highlights. Now, only the Galaxy comes with a dual camera setup on the back, offering a rather small 8-megapixel ultra-wide lens. And as you can see, while this can be seen as slightly unnecessary by some, it's actually quite practical in case you can't back up enough to use the main camera, or just want to take a quick shot and don't have your phone nearby. For video, both the OnePlus and the Galaxy can film at up to 4K 30fps, while the iPad steps it up with 4K 60fps capabilities, but as always, we film at 4K 30fps for our comparisons. Here we have to say the iPad looks the best, as it doesn't have drastic exposure changes like the OnePlus or the Galaxy. Plus, it also has the least amount of noise. We do think, however, that it could benefit from a bit darker shadows, as the footage looks kind of flat. As for that ultra-wide camera on the Galaxy, video resolution is limited to a rather low 1080p 30fps. And yeah, the video with this camera is definitely not the best we have seen, but it's also not the worst, making it still a good alternative for a quick video when you need it. Alright, flipping these tablets 180 degrees, we find the camera you might use the most. On the OnePlus, it's an 8-megapixel camera, while on both the iPad and the Galaxy, it's a 12-megapixel camera. All tablets have this camera in the middle of the long side, which is perfect for video calls. Something you can immediately see is that the OnePlus has the most restrained field of view. The iPad and the Galaxy carry basically ultra-wide cameras here, but you can always digitally zoom to a more standard field of view. From these three shots, we have to say that the Galaxy looks more pleasing and has basically no noise, but the white balance is a bit too warm. In low light, however, the Galaxy makes me look like I spent the whole day tanning without sunscreen. The OnePlus, on the contrary, makes my skin look really pale, whereas the iPad finds a sweet spot for skin tones. For video with this camera, the OnePlus is limited to 1080p 30fps video, the iPad to 1080p 60fps, but the Galaxy can film it up to 4K 30fps. Being completely honest, the video from the OnePlus is just atrocious. The quality is super low, and the colors, ugh. Both the iPad and the Galaxy are leagues ahead, but funnily, the iPad has no noise while the Galaxy has quite some, and the Galaxy has the most accurate colors while the iPad looks a bit off. So now let's test out the audio coming from all of these tablets. We'll start off over here with the OnePlus. What do you think? How am I sounding over here? Is my voice clear? Moving on to the iPad. Is it any better than the OnePlus? What do you guys think? And finally, here we have the Galaxy Tab. Is it better than the other two? As always, we'll be talking about it. Even though our living room is pretty quiet, the Galaxy still delivered the clearest audio. The iPad has some echo going on, and while the OnePlus's audio is loud, there's some thumping on it, even if it was just chilling on a table. But now let's dim the lights to give you an idea of how these tablets perform at night. With the main camera, clearly the Galaxy looks the best as it captures the most detail in these conditions, plus it also has the most correct colors for the scene. On the other hand, the iPad is super noisy and the OnePlus is overly smooth. Once again, here's how much more you can fit in the screen with that Galaxy's ultra-wide camera. And while the quality is definitely not as good as the main one in these conditions, it's once again handy to have it. For video, I'm not sure I even need to say it because the Galaxy and especially the OnePlus look super rough. Both have tons of noise and a lot of detail gets lost. While the iPad is not perfect by any means, it is the best one in dim scenarios. Finally, here's a video taken with the ultra-wide camera on the Galaxy just for you to see how it performs. And yeah, the quality is pretty much as bad as the OnePlus this time, but hey, at least it has an ultra-wide camera. So for cameras, we'd say you can't go wrong with either the iPad or the Galaxy, as both go back and forth on which one performs the best in different scenarios, with the Galaxy offering more flexibility thanks to that ultra-wide camera. And once again, cameras on tablets are probably not the main reason why you get one, but if that is important for you, just avoid the OnePlus. And with that out of the way, let's check out just how powerful these slates are. The OnePlus packs the Snapdragon 8 Elite, the iPad comes with an Apple M3 chip, and the Galaxy uses a MediaTek Dimensity 9300 Plus. For RAM, our iPad comes with 8GB, whereas our OnePlus and Galaxy units come with 12GB. Here you can also check out the other RAM, storage, and connectivity options available, though availability depends on the market. Just as a side note, out of all of these three tablets, only the Galaxy offers expandable storage via micro SD. But to really see what these tabs can do, we'll throw them into some real-world testing, starting with gaming. We'll run 30-minute sessions with cooldown time in between. First up, Grid Legends in graphics mode. The game is capped at 30 FPS, and all tablets sustained good frames. The Galaxy dropped the most, but only to 27 FPS, which is still very playable. It was, however, the hottest, hitting 43 degrees Celsius. Next, we launched Withering Waves and cranked the graphics all the way up. This time around, all three started at 60 FPS, but after some gameplay, the iPad dropped the most, to 38 FPS. However, for temps, the Galaxy and the OnePlus were the hottest ones. Then we fired up Bloom's TD6 and flooded the screen with thousands of units to really stress the CPUs. The tables got completely reversed here. After the screen was flooded, the iPad sustained the most FPS, actually being the device that has sustained the most FPS in this test from all the devices we have ever tested so far. Oh, and for temperatures, it was the coldest one between the three. Moving on from gaming, we exported 99 photos in Lightroom. Here, the OnePlus was the quickest in finishing the export, doing so in under 4 minutes. Next, we rendered a 3-minute 4K 30fps video in CapCut. This time, the iPad took the lead, rendering the video in just 30 seconds. But to be fair, all of them finished in less than a minute. For fun, we also opened a massive Microsoft Excel file with over 4 million cells. The iPad was faster than Speedy Gonzalez opening that file in just 4 seconds. Now, let's check out some benchmarks. In Geekbench 6, both the OnePlus and the iPad scored a bit more than 3,000 points in single core, but the iPad absolutely skyrocketed to more than 11,000 points in multi-core. That's the highest we've ever seen in our tests. In 3D Mark's Wildlife Extreme Stress Test, it was actually the OnePlus that scored the highest in both the best and lowest loop, with the iPad sitting in between and the Galaxy just dead last. In Antutu, we know we can't directly compare these scores because of the different OS architectures, so this is just to give you an idea of the device's raw scores. Finally, as for storage types, both the OnePlus and the Galaxy come with UFS 4.0, while the iPad uses Apple's NVMe. So as you can see, all three tablets offer really good performance, but they each have their strengths. The OnePlus shows the best stamina in graphical tasks, the iPad demonstrates amazing real-world speed, and while the Galaxy lags a bit behind overall, it's still far from being slow. Next up, let's check out some software tricks in these big boys. The OnePlus runs Oxygen OS 15 based on Android 15, the iPad of course runs iPad OS 18.5, while the Galaxy runs One UI 7, also based on Android 15. OnePlus offers only 3 years of OS updates, but 6 years of security patches. Apple doesn't usually disclose this info, but OS and security updates for their devices usually run for 7 years, which is what Samsung is also offering for the Tab S10 Plus. Starting with Oxygen OS on the OnePlus, we have a nicely customizable interface, plus some handy AI features accessible through this sidebar. It turns blue when there are specific actions for the apps that you're using, like the AI Writer to write emails, AI Speak to read articles aloud, or the AI Summary to, well, make summaries of articles. You also have some AI features in the gallery to erase objects or enhance your photos. On top of this, Oxygen OS offers one of the best multitasking solutions out there. I mean, you can use these apps at native ratios or even side by side. Plus, you can also open floating windows and minimize apps on the side. iPad OS has also seen big improvements in terms of productivity with multitasking options like the Stage Manager that kind of works like a Mac, letting you open multiple apps at the same time, resizing them and switching between them effortlessly by tapping or swiping. You also get access to Apple Intelligence here to ask about whatever question comes to mind or about content on your screen thanks to ChatGPT integration. Or you can just create random images with Image Playground. Finally, One UI on the Galaxy also lets you open up to 3 apps at the same time, plus floating windows. As on the other 2 tabs, it also comes with an auto-hiding taskbar, but you can also fix it in place if you want to. For even more productivity, you have on-device Samsung DeX to use your tablet as a desktop. As for AI features, just like on the OnePlus, you also get features like an AI composer to help you write, AI summary, and AI read aloud to simplify articles, plus editing tools in the gallery to create some nonsense images. So with that done, let's check out what's electrifying these devices and what the prices are for each one of them. Powering up the OnePlus is a gigantic 12,140 mAh battery. The iPad has a 9,705 mAh pack, while the Galaxy has a 10,090 mAh cell. For charging speeds, the OnePlus supports a speedy 80 watts and the Galaxy handles up to 45 watts. Apple, however, doesn't officially share this info about the iPad. During our testing in the studio, the Galaxy was able to power through all of our tests without needing to recharge once, retaining around 40% battery. Meanwhile, both the OnePlus and the iPad dropped to 0 and had to be plugged back in to finish the tests. In our charging test using a 100 watts charger, the Galaxy was the very first one to complete a full charge, taking 1 hour and 34 minutes with a maximum of 41 watts. Next came the OnePlus, which took 1 hour and 42 minutes, reaching 47 watts. And last was the iPad, taking a full 2 hours and 10 minutes to juice up, reaching 34 watts. But now, as for prices, the OnePlus Pad 3 will drain you of $699, the iPad Air 13 will set you back $799, and the Galaxy Tab S10 Plus will basically rob you of $999. That's a $300 difference between the OnePlus and the Galaxy, and honestly, with that cash, you could just get 150 cans of Pringles if you're feeling a little hungry. So, putting all this info together, we have 3 really capable tablets right here, but price is what truly plays a huge role in the final decision. Honestly, we think the OnePlus Pad 3 is the best option for most people. It is the cheapest of this bunch, and it still packs a flagship processor, amazing speakers, and a really bright screen. We honestly think this new generation is still the tablet to beat, as it offers a fantastic amount of bang for your buck. The iPad Air 13 is equally powerful, but that 60Hz screen is just archaic, and it's also a full $100 more than the OnePlus. We'd only recommend this one if you're really into the Apple ecosystem or need compatibility with professional apps. As for the Galaxy Tab S10 Plus, unfortunately, it is the absolute priciest of the bunch, and other than having a really sweet AMOLED screen and great cameras, it doesn't offer something that can't be found in the other 2 tabs, making it only an alternative if you can find a huge deal on it. But if you're also curious to know how the cheaper iPad 11th Gen does against the Galaxy Tab S10 FE, make sure to smash the link right here. And before you go listen to that one song for the 100th time, don't forget to give us a big thumbs up if you enjoyed the video and hit subscribe, as we're always testing new devices to help you make the best choice. We'll see you in our next video, and until then, take care.